Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's WWE Reddit video. This is, of course, a series where you can submit your photos, videos, memes, questions, or anything related to the world of professional wrestling over on the Santi Zap Videos Reddit page. So if you'd like to have your hot garbage featured in next week's WWE Reddit video, make sure that you check out the Reddit page. I'll put the direct link to it in the description for you. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I'm really confident that you're going to fall in love with his YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And speaking of daily content, if you want even more daily content, don't forget about the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap, with more content that you're never going to see here on YouTube. Check the link in the description or check the link in the pinned comment. It'll be there, but that's enough. Let's see what deplorable, horrible, stupid memes and jokes and pictures and videos you sent in this week. It's going to happen. Ah, yes, the inevitable Roman Reigns versus CM Punk clash for custody of Paul Heyman. This does bring up a question though. Who is Paul Heyman here to help in the long run? Because if you really analyze things, why would Paul Heyman want to align himself with Roman Reigns now? Because it was CM Punk that stood tall for Paul Heyman when Paul Heyman was being abused by Solo Sikoa. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns just stayed at home while Solo Sikoa put Paul Heyman through a table at Madison Square Garden. So I think it is up in the air. Who is Paul Heyman going to be with in the long haul? And I wouldn't be surprised if inevitably the services of Paul Heyman eventually instigates an actual proper feud between Roman Reigns and CM Punk, because that is one of the dream feuds that we've been wanting, gushing about ever since CM Punk came back to the WWE. We cannot go for the rest of CM Punk's career without him tussling with the tribal chief at some point or another. And I think that this Paul Heyman saga is going to be the instigating step as to how we eventually get there. No comments needed. Dear God. What is that picture of Stephanie real? Good Lord. What a sign for WWE. Ah, yes, the upcoming prospect, the up-and-comer Chris Jericho, who is really just on a roll over in AEW, winning matches that he should be winning and feuds that he should be winning. You know, on a different note, I don't ever see Chris Jericho returning to the WWE. I just don't see a world where it ever takes place, and I don't see a world where it even really makes sense for the WWE to bring back Chris Jericho at this point. I think the next time that we see Chris Jericho on WWE programming is when he's inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, because that's an inevitability. That is for sure going to happen. So the behind the scenes of CM Punk's return just got posted on YouTube, and this bit was hilarious.
Hey, can I not enjoy 10 minutes of my return?
Everything is worth it.
You did this to personally attack me.
Yes.
Aw.
I don't care, brother.
What a moment. Dude, can you believe that it's been a year since we got both of these guys back? Dude, I'm still in shock that CM Punk is back in the WWE. That still, when I think about it more and more, is fantasy land for me to have CM Punk back. I still am having a tough time processing that information even a year later. Tell me when I'm telling lies. All right, so we got Big Boom AJ with Big Justice. We bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom. We bring the boom to you versus QT Marshall. Is better than, okay. Jey Uso versus, bro, we in this community have been clowning on this match. And you know what? Fair enough. This match was ass. This match was actually fun. You know, for what it was meant to be, I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I agree with you. I weirdly agree with you that Big Boom AJ had a better match than the brother versus brother, what ought to have been a classic between Jay and Jimmy. The final boss, look at you now, Mama Rhodes. It's gonna be Moana Rules. Dude, I'm like legitimately excited for live action Moana. I don't know how they're gonna pull this off, like some of the cool like magic effects that Maui could do. I think it's hilarious that Maui is so disproportionately large in the like animated adaptation that even The Rock, a guy who in his own right is already disfiguredly large compared to most humans, still needs to put on a muscle suit to be the size of Maui at the end of Survivor Series War Games. Look at you now. Okay, all right, let's move on. This would actually be crazy. Is Paul Heyman going to turn on Roman Reigns? That is the million-dollar question. We already kind of talked a little bit about that context at the beginning of this Reddit video when it comes to CM Punk and where Paul Heyman is aligned, but it is not an accident that Paul Heyman dressed up exactly like Solo Sikoa did on the night that Solo Sikoa took him out in Madison Square Garden. I do not think that that's an accident. Everything Paul Heyman does is with a purpose, and he has dressed up identically, really without the chain, to Solo Sikoa, which does bring the question, is Paul Heyman going to betray Roman Reigns? I think the answer is probably yeah. Like, it's in the nature of Paul Heyman. This is who he is. He's a snake. He's a weasel. He betrays people left, right, and center. So I would not be surprised if The Rock ends up being the one pulling the strings, and The Rock's new wise man will be Paul Heyman. Sorry, what, Santi? Look, I always hate these when you guys take me out of context. And okay, let's okay. I feel like I could go for a while as well, bashing on the 10-year-old kid. Okay, all right. Okay, too far. Can someone please tell me why Brock did this? It hasn't been explained yet.
Wait a second. What the hell?
Ah, yes. The infamous Raw after WrestleMania 39. You want to know the answer to this? The reason why? There's no reason. People have tried to retcon this and say it was because Brock Lesnar was trying to test Cody Rhodes, or Brock Lesnar was mad that Cody Rhodes was getting the spot that Brock Lesnar deserved. There's no reason. It's Vince McMahon came back on that night and made shitty, idiotic decisions. Why did Maven do this? How did I not see that? He was literally holding glass. How did I not see that one coming? Will any of them win a world title in their career? Chad Gable? I'm going to say probably not. I don't think that that's going to happen. Chelsea Green, I see it. I absolutely do see her winning a women's world championship. Braun Breaker, absolutely. He's going to win a whole bunch. This dude is going to be draped in gold. Ilya Dragunov, I do see it as well. He's still really early on in his career. He hasn't even hit his prime years yet. Raquel, yeah, I could see her winning a women's world championship one day. I can see that. Jey Uso, I'll say yes. I'll say yes for Jey Uso, but like, I'm not that convinced on that answer. Imagine showing someone this image 4 years ago. Yeah, dude, this does seem surreal. You know what's funny is on Twitter, I mentioned how this whole thing and how it played out with CM Punk being the fifth man. It felt like a WWE 2K storyline come to life, because some of the wildest shit happens in those games, and this felt like that. It felt like that level of crazy. Santi works for ESPN. ESPN ranks the top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30 in the world today. Number 1, Dominic Mysterio. Look, I don't work for ESPN, but clearly somebody of class, somebody of taste, somebody who has eyeballs and basic human senses is working at ESPN, because I've been screaming this from the top of the mountains for the last 2 years, and finally a major publication, somebody has finally decided to stand alongside me on that mountain and scream to the planet how amazing dirty Dominic Mysterio is. I get that CM Punk makes sense for War Games, but they really should have went with the greatest Paul Heyman guy ever. Ah, yes, Michael McGillicuddy, Michael McSillyputty, whatever it is that you want to call him. Curtis Axel, the greatest Paul Heyman guy of all time, folks. Can you get 6 out of 6? WWE brain rot exam?
Finish the lyrics. I believe
Joe Hendry.
in Joe Hendry.
Bro, according to the community, I'm the
WWE brain rot exam.
I'm the king of brain rot, so let's see.
5 out of 6, then you are tribal UC Homo sapien.
Tribal Uzi Homo sapien?
2. What does Jacob Fatu say to Solo Sikoa?
I love you. All right, 2 for 2.
Question 3. Finish the sentence.
Lately, he just hasn't been
Very oozy. Feeling very oozy.
very oozy.
Oh, I thought it was whatever. I'm giving myself that.
I genuinely feel bad for you. Question 4. What was the stipulation for the Roman Cody match at WrestleMania 40?
It's gonna be bloodline rules.
It was Bloodline Rules. Question 5. Guess the wrestler by their theme song.
No, not this fucking song again. Austin Theory. Dude, that meme is so old at this point.
Final question. Don't forget to comment your score.
Yeah, okay, come on, get on with it.
Get this one wrong, you need to start yeeting all over the place. Who is the one and only tribal chief?
Oh, you're giving me the answer. It's Tongaloa?
That is infamous.
All right.
Tongaloa.
It was Bronson Reed. Yep, this looks real. Bro, they put Jade Cargill like Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z.
There you go.
Oh my God!
You see what I mean?
That was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club, which is exclusively available on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, we're looking at the Tag Team Classic that is DIY versus The Revival in a best 2 out of 3 falls at NXT TakeOver Toronto. We have a hardcore match between Shane McMahon and Steve Blackman at SummerSlam 2000. We've got real graps this week in the classic match between Bret Hart and Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10. We have a ridiculous match between Sabu and Rob Van Dam in a ladder match. And we're looking at Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania 39. You're gonna get this and so much more, like the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days early, the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews, the currently ongoing Undertaker Streak watch along, the currently ongoing Royal Rumble watch along, and more. So if you're doing the math, I actually upload more on Patreon than I do on YouTube, and those are videos that will never appear on YouTube. So go check it out. It's patreon.com/SantiZap. I'm confident that if you even try for 1 month, that you're absolutely going to fall in love with it. There's hundreds of videos already up and available for you to enjoy day one. So go check it out. The link will be in the description. The link will likely also be in the pinned comment, but that's it, folks. Let's get back to the video. Paul is so proud of his work. Is he proud? He looked a little bit maniacal there. I don't know, man. Either way, what I want is Roman versus CM Punk at some point. Not my ring general. Bro, they've turned him into the ring bitch. This is not my ring general. What are they doing with Gunther? This little shy bitch boy cuck Gunther. What are they doing with him? I'm so happy that they're treating this team of people that actually hate each other, as they should, because they absolutely should 100% hate each other. This team needs to lose, one, because we don't want the both women's world champions to lose, but also for it to make sense, because they've got Bayley, they've got Bianca, they've got Io in there, all three who hate each other, and Rhea Ripley who hates everybody. So we have the perfect excuse for the women's babyface team to lose at War Games just with an internal implosion. How do you feel about this? About Dragon Lee becoming the new speed champion? I just don't give a fuck. Same vibes. WWE is interested in doing Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson at WrestleMania 41 in April 2025. And that's the same vibes as Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler. No way. It's nowhere near as bad as that. And look, I don't think that they would do this. I'm sure that maybe they could do Mike Tyson being a special enforcer for somebody. That could be interesting. Dude, imagine if it's Logan Paul versus LA Knight Part 2, WrestleMania, and maybe Mike Tyson is Logan Paul's enforcer, or maybe LA Knight's enforcer. That I could see. Can't believe it. They got Widow and Storm, y'all. Oh God, these are great memes. Yeah, you guys have delicious memes this week. The best faction in the modern era.
Hotel, India, Echo, Lima,
Shield.
Delta.
Oh no, stop. It is not PFC. How is this becoming a thing in my community that you guys love PFC? There's no way. Raw on Netflix.
Defeating the final boss, defeating the tribal.
Oh. All right. Okay, I get the point. Yeah. When you finally understand what Santi meant when he said NXT is peak, we all see the vision. No, that's not the reason why I think it's peak. That's wild, though. Is KO going to dethrone him? Bro, could KO dethrone Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event? I don't think so, because I think that the most likely outcome is that Randy Orton comes back and interrupts the match and beats the crap out of Kevin Owens and helps Cody Rhodes wins. That's what I think is likely going to happen, but it would be a crazy swerve that I honestly wouldn't hate if they were to make Kevin Owens the new WWE Undisputed Champion, because it would kind of work with the narrative that they're saying that the only way that Kevin Owens Rollins can win things is if he taps into this vile, awful version of himself, which is exactly where he's at right now. And if he were to win the WWE Undisputed Championship with this version of himself, it just works. I can't handle all the aura. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. I mean, they're the same aura and the same vibe. That's for damn sure. Which segment should win segment of the year? Damn. Okay, that's a tough question. This was a great segment leading into the Royal Rumble. I think that this was weak. This wasn't one of the Rock's better musical performances. This was peak for sure. Ooh, this might be it, right? This might be the moment of the year right here. The beatdown of Cody Rhodes at the hands of the final boss. Look at you now. Great moment in the Hell in a Cell. Great moment between Randy and Triple H. Amazing promo between Cody and KO. And dude, this was also amazing. Look, all of these are great, but I'm going to go to this. This was the moment of the year. This is what felt like we're in a new era of professional wrestling with The Rock swearing on TV. Are these two the worst tag team champions ever? Yes. I'm just going to go out and say, yes, I think that they are. The lack of care for the championships, the fact that they barely represent themselves as champions, the fact that they barely carry the championships, the fact that they barely defend the championships. Yes, the answer is yes. Mello don't miss. Ran into CM Punk, just gave me the best advice to never lose a backstage fight again. Oh, if you know, you know. I mean, if anybody knows anything about backstage fights, it is Phil Boy Brooks. We got an update. Dude, why does CM Punk look like the real Slim Shady in this? I think I'm going to say this on behalf of everyone. We want this. All right. So Women's Intercontinental Championship going to Lyra Valkyria. I feel like that's a perfectly fine choice. Frankly, WWE hasn't done a great job of building the women's mid-card on Monday Night Raw. It is significantly weaker than it is on SmackDown. So I feel like if anything, they need to use the Women's Intercontinental Championship to revitalize the women's mid-card on Monday Night Raw. And I think Lyra Valkyria would make a pretty awesome inaugural champion. And in all honesty, she isn't the only choice, though. I think Zelina and Dakota Kai are great choices as well, frankly. When the 2025 draft comes along, who should be the first NXT call-up? Trick Williams? Sure, maybe. I think Trick Williams stays for another year on NXT. Obafemi, I could see being one of those #1 picks, but I could also see them keeping him on NXT for a while. Tony D'Angelo, I think, could get called up, but I don't think he would be the first pick. I think this could be the first pick. All ego Ethan Page could be the very first pick. I mean, to me, he's the most main roster ready guy on NXT. Roxanne Perez, also right up there. She could be the very first person or first female at the very least picked in this upcoming draft. No way CM Punk actually posted this. Of course, we got to add Paul Heyman to this. Now the family is truly all here. How the fuck does an 11-year-old have a better spear than Edge? Ooh. Oh man, dude, I love that the Costco guys were involved in this. This kid is living the wildest childhood, man. He had his dad just getting a roarous standing ovation from an entire arena in professional wrestling, and he got to hit a spear in front of that same arena. Crazy life, man. Crazy life. And also, yes, it is better than Edge's. Edge's spear is the worst. What is Santi looking at? Wrong answers only. Okay, so this is the photo. Let's read some of your answers. I'm frankly scared. Undertaker's dong. Okay, it's gonna be like that, isn't it? You know what? After that one, I don't want to read anymore. The video's done. Get out of here.